So guys, I've actually been playing around with the Westchester here off camera some more. Obviously I got a battery in it, everything's set up. I've actually either cranked the battery down or the starter is a huge problem now. Now that it actually has compression, because the valves aren't leaking, now it's really hard to turn over. So if I adjust the exhaust valve so it is hung open slightly, I can get it to kind of spin up on carb cleaner, but it's also still kind of spitting out the intake, which would kind of tell me it's out of time? Maybe? I don't know. Maybe I got the valves too tight or something. And maybe I need to loosen up the intake valve, tighten up the exhaust valve. Does that make sense? I don't know. I can't even show you guys right now because it won't crank over hardly at all. But it's kind of where I'm at, so I'm going to let the battery charge and hook the coil. And I guess I'm going to go inside and eat dinner. I was hoping this thing would fire right up. I can't believe it still had spark. So that was good. Apparently this coil up here is now junk, the one I was using. And the one down below appears to be good with my rigmarole. And the other thing I'm thinking is if that does not work, I have a belt pulley set up. I'll put that on the front of this and I will belt start it off of something else. That's my thinking. So, I guess for right now, you guys will just have to remain in a pause loop for, it was also Ralph that was dinging me earlier, or RW3 Dog, sorry. And yeah, we'll just try and spin it up with another tractor, I guess. I got the customer's tractor over here, that 50Zell or whatever. I'll got back on that project. I haven't done any videos. Actually runs extremely well. Just needs that choke cable put on and then it would be done. My part of it. So, anywho's, I'm rambling, so I'm gonna eat dinner, think about this, maybe belt pulley set up off the PTO, off another tractor, or, follow me, hear me out, or the starter generator off Alex's Briggs. I could borrow that for a little bit and try to make it run. Pretty sure that one spins the right direction. So, yeah, anyhow, for me, it'll be a couple hours. For you guys in 3, 2. Alright boys, so here's what I got going on. I am about 80% sure this starter is on its way out. It could be the brushes are hung up. I haven't tried tapping it yet. But you have to spin it around. It seems like there's a dead spot in the armature. So I have a second battery hooked up with a trickle charger to that, and a pair of jumper cables from there over to here. $10-amp charger. So, as of right now, I have the exhaust valve, so it's hanging open, so it'll spin over halfway decent. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to try and get it to run. If it'll run, what I can do is take the ratchet and loosen the valve up, and then it should be able to run on its own. We'll just let it sit here and run for 5 minutes or something. I'd like to hear it run longer, but it is what it is for right now. If it smokes us out of the shop, it smokes us out of the shop. So, turn the fuel on, turn the choke on. You see right now it won't even work. Well, when I loosened her up, she tried to take off, but she's kicking back something terrible. The starter started working good though. Oh, all I know to do is try it again. Alright, I gotta let that starter cool down. So close, guys, so close. Huh. It's almost like the Jubilee all over again. Rechecking them few head bolts I can get to. I mean, it's got some heat in it. It's pumping oil too. Did I mention that? Also, idle is actually up. So this thing would have actually been running wide open. That's good to know. I think I might have to get the starter rebuilt to get this thing to start on its own. So close, but that starter is so hot. Alright, boys. I have readjusted the timing. Off camera there, it was trying to pop through the intake pretty bad. I did some field testing on the starter. Brushes were hung up. So, I don't know what it's going to do. Honestly. Hopefully it'll just run. Would be nice. If this thing will run for 10 seconds tonight, I'll be happy, but I don't know that we're going to get there. Fuel's on. I have the starter adjuster here. I'm not getting any spark. Everything's still hooked up. Alright, let's get back to we'll hold the exhaust valve open slightly. Now I got no spark. I had spark before. That's still on. I don't know. Hold on. Well, plug bar is still in. That's hooked on. Hold on. I'm gonna do that. Little field adjustment. That's hot. I got no spark. When it cranks over fast, it's got spark, but not slow. Grr. This starter still hasn't cooled down from the first time I had it hot. I don't know. I put the starter generator belt to the inside so I could get an L belted up to it on the motor. That's about the only thing I know to do with it. I don't know. Starting to test my patience. I don't know about you guys, but I'm about ready to give up for the night. Because now that I've retarded the timing so it won't kick back at all, now it's hardly firing. And as soon as I loosen up the exhaust valve, it won't crank over. So that tells me more than anything, I don't have a good starter. Which I kind of already knew that. So the only thing I can do is belt start it off an L.